It's one thing to enter a cheat code for a one-player game at home by yourself, but nobody likes a cheater in a multiplayer game. The only good thing about people who cheat at video games to get the upper hand over other players is that they eventually get caught. Nevertheless, sometimes it's almost worth dealing with them just to see a spectacular comeuppance. Here are 8 times that people cheated at video games and got punished in truly epic ways. Darkside takes a dive, Guild Wars 2. The Guild Wars series of MMORPGs has a proud history of zero tolerance for cheating. The original Guild Wars used a screen-high avatar of death named Doom to publicly slice cheaters in half with a giant scythe. It's no surprise then that Guild Wars 2 takes a similarly dim view of cheaters. The player Darkside got some first-hand knowledge of this when his PvP combat cheating was confirmed. Game security chief Chris Cleary logged into his account, stripped his main avatar naked, climbed it to the top of a high wall in a populated area, and then had it wave goodbye as it plunged to its virtual death. If that wasn't enough, Darkside was also permanently banned, and all his characters were deleted. Tell everyone you're sorry, H1Z1 or Hizzy. Usually people who cheat in multiplayer online games only get punished in the game itself. Not so with zombie survival game H1Z1 or Hizzy, which once had to ban an estimated 30,000 players due to rampant cheating. Plenty of those who were banned wanted back in so badly they begged the developer, Daybreak Game Company, to let them play again. Daybreak came up with an ingenious solution. It welcomed back any player who made a public YouTube video apologizing for their unsportsmanlike behavior. Though only a few people took them up on the offer, these apology videos gave the rest of Hizzy's community a good laugh and an idea of who to watch out for in the future. No sweet ride for you, Grand Theft Auto 5. Grand Theft Auto 5 has a popular and well-designed online gameplay mode, lending it a much longer life among the GTA fan community than its predecessors. As with most online games, some people can't resist trying to get an unfair advantage, but the game has a number of countermeasures in place to handle them. One of the best and most true to Grand Theft Auto form is the surprise that awaits any cheater who manages to sneak his fancy tricked-out car from the single-player mode game into multiplayer missions. There it sits, looking shiny and perfect, but as soon as the cheating player sits down in the driver's seat, in true gangland style, a car bomb wastes them in their car, costing them their in-game currency in the process. Guess those rival gangs really don't like cheaters. Cheats of a Feather, Max Payne 3, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and many others. Generally, cheaters don't care about playing fair as long as they can win. Therefore, it turns out that one of the best ways to punish those who keep on cheating is to pit them against other cheaters, leveling the playing field and trapping them in a nightmare of their own making. Several games prefer this method of dealing with cheaters. In the fighting game Marvel vs. Capcom 3, players who keep disconnecting to get out of losing their matches eventually get paired with each other, making it impossible for either player to win or lose most fights at all. In Max Payne 3, cheaters get lumped together in their own server space, the appropriately named Cheaters Pool, and can only fight against other players who also cheat, taking away the advantages they were so keen on before. You think this is a game? Sudden Attack. In Japan, games are big business, and cheaters are a proportionately huge headache. Developer Nexon took their anti-cheating fight to the next level though, when their investigation actually led to criminal charges against 3 people for cheating in their popular multiplayer game, Sudden Attack. As it turns out, the 3 young men, all students, weren't only cheating. The police alleged that they made huge amounts of money illegally by developing dozens of original hacks for Sudden Attack and then selling them online. It can't have been a good time for the 3 people charged, but we bet they'll think twice before cheating again in the future. Hope you wrote that gamer score down. Gears of War 2. Gears of War remains a flagship series for Microsoft's next-gen Xbox consoles, and each new game is an exciting event for fans. Back when Gears of War 2 first launched, however, a few gamers got a little too excited and took advantage of an exploit that allowed them to unlock all of the game's content right from the very start. Microsoft, of course, was having none of it. They rooted out every cheater one by one and systematically reset their gamer scores, the metric Xbox Live players used to keep track of achievements and overall gaming prowess across all their games. It's one thing to cheat your way into a new toy and have it taken away. These cheaters lost all their past records too. That had to sting. Everybody wants you. Red Dead Redemption. Like many multiplayer games, Rockstar's Wild West sandbox game doesn't strictly punish cheaters. It also punishes relentless jerks. Fortunately for us, the two often go hand in hand, whether by cruelty and luck or with the assistance of a cheat. Red Dead players who rack up a lot of complaints about cheat kills and unfair tactics will be branded as player killers for all the world to see, making it hard to find teammates and easy to get hunted down by player vigilante squads. What really makes this punishment epic, though, is the additional effect of being branded as a player killer, a constant wanted level. That's right, people who don't know when enough is enough get a healthy dose of their own medicine, as the long arm of the in-game law never ever stops attacking them, no matter what they do. The 8,000-year ban, Monster Hunter 3. Monster Hunter 3 is very serious about getting players who cheat to reform their criminal ways. So serious, in fact, the ban it imposes for cheating comes in two flavors. One for first-time cheaters, and a longer-term one for repeat offenders. However, the punishment for first-time offenders doesn't seem quite as reasonable when you discover that the ban expires in the year 9,999. That's almost 8,000 years in the future. For a little context, 8,000 years ago, the Sahara was a rolling grassland, and mankind hadn't yet figured out how to make bronze. So what's the length of the more serious ban? Forever. We don't think most gamers will really be able to tell the difference. That's a nice 30 grand you've got there. League of Legends. Cheating in a video game typically doesn't cost the cheater much more than the humiliation of being called out, plus maybe the cost of the game if his cheating gets him banned for life. That certainly wasn't the case, however, for one team of players fighting for glory in the popular MOBA, League of Legends. A Korean professional gaming team, Azubu Frost, was discovered to be cheating at the very highest level of competitive play, with a cool $2 million in prize money on the line. At that level, even a small cheat can have serious repercussions, so in retaliation for what they did, sneaking peeks at their opponents' minimaps, Riot Games, the maker of League of Legends, docked them $30,000, or 20% of their winnings. The team still left with around $120,000, but if they just played fair, it could have been quite a bit more. What are the most epic punishments for cheaters you've ever come across? Ever erased your own game by accident while fooling around with a Game Shark? Been banned from a popular MMO for something extra sneaky? Tell us your thoughts. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and check out the rest of our channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to CBR for cool vids about movies, action heroes, gaming, comics, and more.